to the UFC card coming up, man, I feel bad that we didn't talk about the last UFC card because it was so epic. Like,
it was epic.
It was
Okay, before we get into this, can we just talk about the Robbie Lawler one real quick?
absolutely.
I just wanted to get your take on it because here's my thing.
Yes.
Robbie Lawler put Herb Dean into a terrible situation.
100%.
When your arm goes into
Drop down.
that anime, like, it was so slow. It looked like he was about to die.
Yeah.
And that's what the ref said. The ref was like, look, man, we got rules.
Right.
You got to hold up your end of the bargain. Don't look like you just died.
Right. That's all
Like,
I'm asking.
there's a certain amount of trust that we can't give our referees the leverage to have in you. And even with when he grabbed his hand, he did put the thumbs up. The problem is his hand first slipped out of Herb's hand. He didn't grab Herb's hand, which is what you're
Yes.
supposed to do. It slipped out of Herb's hand. And then once it got behind Askren's butt, the thumb came up. But Herb can't see through two human trunks
But
to your thumb. And the last thing I would say is the Gracies put up an excellent video
mhm,
showing that he was in terrible danger in
yes.
that position, despite the fact that the arm wasn't completely under the chin, particularly when you look at Askren's physical gifts when it comes to squeezing.
Yeah.
And we have seen multiple times people get around the hinge of the jaw and put people to sleep. Everybody watching that fight thought he was put to bed. So while it was by the letter of the law a bad call, it was not. It was a bad call made under the best possible circumstances, and I don't think replaying that Herb Dean is the one who should have done something differently. I think replaying that Robbie Lawler is the one who should have done something differently.
Honestly, I agree, but in different ways, man. I really think that Lawler was out. Because I've seen more than once a fighter lose consciousness momentarily
Yeah.
and come back.
Okay. And we talked about interrupting, but I'm interrupting you to agree with you.
Yes.
I don't know if he was out or not, but I know that I cannot think of a reason for this. I just can't think of a reason, Brian. I just can't think of
the Dougie Fresh.
He said, I just can't think of a reason. I ain't saying you lying. I'm just saying we've watched a lot of MMA.
Yeah, yeah.
I have never seen that animation from someone who wasn't
asleep.
Mr. Sandman.
Right. I mean, my man.
I
mean, it was like the WWE. You remember when when somebody would get the sleeper hole put on them?
Yeah, and they fake it. Right.
Homie, your arm dropped,
it
player.
Almost looked like, and the thing is, when Herb Dean lifted his arm up and talked to Askren, Askren let off of him, and it looked like Herb is possible that Herb touching his hand and Ben letting off him woke him up. So he went out like that. And and I've been through that actually. I fell on my head once and went out for a quick second. Nobody knew I got knocked out.
Nobody knew. Yeah. And here's the thing also, Askren said that Herb Dean asked him, Robbie, are you okay? Right. And he didn't say anything.
He said he couldn't hear him because he was
you were asleep. I can't hear when I'm asleep either.
Is that why he couldn't hear?
That's why. Because you sheepy time. Because you were sheepy time. That's why. You were sheepy time. That's why, homie. And you know what? I really hate to talk about Lawler like that because he fought so great. He
looked amazing.
He was so prepared. He was so prepared. He was so prepared for the takedown because immediately you could tell he worked that throw. Yeah. That throw was something they worked throughout training camp. It's like once he locks on and engages, he's going to go for that single. And when he goes for that single, you change levels. Yeah. You dip your left shoulder, you hoist him, you drop, and you go into ground and pound. And that's exactly what he did.
Totally fair to Robbie.
He could have stopped that fight.
He was all class.
Yeah. Oh, total. Class.
All class.
Total class.
So even though we suspect sheepy time.
Yeah,
That's our suspicion.
Yeah.
It's also possible that even he doesn't know that he was asleep.
Yes.
Because sometimes you wink out like that. And the thing is, and this is what it is for me, the same thing with every early stoppage we talk about, I come down to this. Is there a suspicion in my mind that the outcome would have been different? And in this one, he looked like he was in a world of trouble.
You know, it was too much time left in the fight, I believe,
Yeah.
for there to be a situation where I felt like he could have escaped.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. There's to me a better argument that Dean should have stopped the fight when Askren was getting pounded in the face.
See,
with
I don't think he should have, because we talk about
intelligently defending it, and he was intelligent. He was taking shots,
He was
but he
taking
was
shots,
trying
but
to change the position.
and he was not knocked out. This is
No.
not about protecting fighters from getting knocked out. This is about protecting fighters from getting killed when they're helpless.
Right.
And the thing is, if you're not helpless, you're supposed to show it by intelligently defending, which is why the fights with Fat Boy, what's his name? Last time, the fat guy who had his arm up against his head and they stopped the fight and he was upset about it.
Oh.
What's his name? God, it was
you talking about Sam Alvey?
I think so.
Sam Alvey. It was the fight.
Because he was saying, "Let me take shots," and blah blah blah.
And it was because it was the ref. He says it always stops his fight too early.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
Sam Alvey. That was Sam Alvey. Yeah.
And my issue with that was he was getting hit in the arm. He pulled his hand up to the side of his head. Even if he's in a bad position, he has physically earned the right to get hit in the face again.
Well, but the only thing about that is you can only stay like that for so long, because if you're just covering up, the ref is supposed to stop the fight.
Again, but if he's hitting the arm,
no, still, if you shell up,
it's if you. But see, here's the thing: shell up is a generic term, and when you say shell up, I think there's variables to it, because if you're shelled up but you're safe, and you're saying you're
not punching back, if you're down and you're doing this and you're not punching back, and there are repeated blows and you're just doing this, the referee's going to say you got to do something, you got to do something, you got to do something, and if you don't do something, the fight's going to get stopped, and you might not be taking shots.
Right, I didn't think Alvey was in that position.
No, that wasn't the case with Alvey.
Right,
I didn't think that was a bad stoppage.
I thought he got into a better position as the fight went on. This was a situation that, again, with some technical thing. This is a great video by the Gracies where they talked about it. They said the reason this is not just a headlock, specifically that it is a bulldog choke.
Oh, it's a bulldog choke, yeah.
Because with the headlock, the chin is pointed away.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason headlocks turn into bulldog chokes and don't get ruled as bulldog chokes is because what happens is when they're trying to escape, the chin goes inward. And once your chin is inward, it's almost irrelevant whether or not the arm is under the chin, because every move to escape that puts you into more pain.
And it can collapse the
more
jaw.
Danger.
It can
100%.
collapse the jaw. So, and that's where he was going. People don't escape being Askren chokes.
Right. And it wasn't getting better.
Yeah, they don't. He's too good at it. You have to beat Ben before he gets to that point, and he is beatable before you get to that point. I think we saw that. But if he gets to that point, the fight's over, bro.
Yeah. All right. That was a detour. We weren't supposed to talk about that, but we didn't get it. I don't think anything else on the card was really like worth discussing.
Well, I thought it was a fantastic card overall. I thought the Cody Garbrandt thing was definitely fascinating because
that was great.
Has the lowest fight IQ in the history of the world.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
He was playing the game online.
Oh my God, man. He's like the kid. He's like the kid at school who gets smacked in the face and just starts crying with slob hanging from their mouth. Like Cuba Gooding Jr. from Boys in the Hood after Ricky got shot. Just dude, what are you doing? Like,
I've never seen Boys in the Hood.
I'm clicking. Where's the red button? I'm gonna click it. I'm finna click it right now. I'm about to click the button. I'm about to click it.
You know why I didn't see Boys in the Hood?
I don't know that I want to know.
So okay, so I'm old, right? And when I came up, Boys in the Hood was shown in the theaters, in Brooklyn where I grew up, and everybody was shooting at the screen in every viewing. Yeah. So we weren't allowed to see it.
I remember.
Yeah, so it wasn't until it was out on VHS that I would have even had the chance to see
Right.
it.
I remember that. I do
And that,
remember that.
and at the time, things didn't go on VHS 2 weeks after they came out the theater.
Yeah.
They went when they got around to it.
Yeah.
So it honestly just wasn't available for me to see for the longest time. And then by the time it was time to see it, it was like super old, and it was just like I'll get to it when I get to it. And I just have never seen it since.
Well, I do remember that. We were not allowed to go to, well, I didn't go to the show very much anyway, period. But yeah, I remember that the whole thing about not wanting to go see urban movies because there was things, New Jack City, the people got into a Menace to Society, people got
Yeah,
into it. And
I
it
saw
wasn't,
New Jack City like when that came out.
yeah, it wasn't the movie that was doing it. It was the people who
No,
were
it's the
at the
people.
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I like from what I've seen of the movie, I don't know why you would shoot at the screen. Like,
No, they weren't shooting at the screen. They were
like,
shooting
I
at the
understand
stuff.
if it was like Roots.
Right. I'm a star. I'm shooting at the
It's
screen
right,
right
right.
now.
It begins now. Like,
Give us free.
but yeah, I don't know why Menace to Society teaches you to pull out your guns, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
they
Yeah, it should
misread
be
the
the other
message.
way around.